quick version on how to know that your manifestation is close. This is going to be my quick guide on birds before land. I've made 3 videos, I believe, on it specifically, and I've just I've found a way to make it very concise, and I want to share it. So right off the bat, what is birds before land? These are signs that your manifestation is close. So for example, anything that you take as a sign, it might be seeing angel numbers, it might be seeing their name all around, it might be seeing something that is an inside joke between you referenced somewhere. It could be hearing a very specific thing in a tarot card reading video that you're watching. Any sort of sign that your manifestation is close. That is birds before land, because if you, as Neville Goddard says, I believe he's the one who coined the term, he said, if you're on a ship out at sea and you're sailing to try and find land, you are going to see birds before you see the land. So this is the birds, metaphorically, are the signs that you see that lead you to believe that your manifestation is close. So like, you want someone to ask you out, you might start seeing other people asking you out. They might even have the same name. It's where your manifestation's energy and frequency of what it is that you want starts coming through in other ways before it hits the one thing that you desire. So if you want a job, like a promotion at work, you might start getting offers for jobs from other companies for higher pay. But you obviously use your intuition on that. Like, if you don't want to change careers or whatever, I'm not going to derail myself with that train of thought. So back to it, focused. Birds before land, any sort of sign. Now Neville Goddard says that signs do not precede, they follow. I had to make sure I said that in the correct order. So if you see a sign, I know that when a lot of people ask me on my birds before land videos, does this mean it's birds before land? Is this a sign that my manifestation is close? Do you believe that it's a sign that your manifestation is close? Do you believe that it's a sign? Because a sign is a unique thing. Like a sign to me is not going to be a sign to you for your specific thing sometimes, but probably not. You know what I mean? Like, if I see a blue feather on the ground and it triggers some sort of recognition in my brain, and I'm like, oh my gosh, could this mean that this is happening? Yeah, it's a sign. It's a sign. So only you know if it's a sign or not. Now, a lot of people think that they look at it as if, okay, I've seen a sign, but now where is it? Where is it? And they start fixating on the lack. So when Neville Goddard says that signs precede, they never follow. No, sorry, I said that backwards this time. That signs never precede and they only follow. This means your state of consciousness. So a sign is never going to come before your consciousness shift, because your consciousness needs to align with the version of you that has that thing. It needs to be in alignment. The thing that you want needs to be in alignment with you. You need to be in alignment with it. So seeing a sign is never going to come before your consciousness has started to shift closer to that thing. So if you're over here and your desire is over here, you are not going to see any sorts of signs, any birds before land, if you are not making some progress. Now, it might only be like an inch, but some progress. So you will only ever see signs if you are making progress towards your manifestation. You are never going to see signs of not. Like, a sign's not going to come in and be the thing that starts kick-starting you moving towards it. You are already moving towards it. At whatever speed you are going, maybe it makes you go a little bit faster or something, but you are already going towards it. Because I feel that when people ask me if it's a sign, they want to know if they're doing something correctly. They want to know what they need to do differently. What do I need to keep doing something? Like, okay, if this was a sign, now what do I do? I used to think like, oh, you see a sign and you just don't need to do anything. But you want to look at what you are doing. What is the state of consciousness you are in? Signs can be triggers. I put that in one of my videos, I think part 3. It can almost trigger you because it can remind you that you don't have what it is, and it can be emotionally turbulent for you, and you just need to process and then go back to it. So literally just take signs as, oh, that's cool, I'm almost there. Like somebody put it one day, it's like if somebody owed you $200 and you saw them one day for lunch and they're like, hey bud, here's $10, you'd be like, oh, sweet. But that's not your $200. You don't have it yet. And so you go about your day, and that debt wouldn't be settled until you had the $200. Had to stop myself from going down a rabbit hole because I said I was going to keep this one short. So yeah, all you need to do, if you see birds before land, know that that meant that you were or still are on your way to your having your manifestation. If you see birds before land, if you see any signs, you are on your way. It didn't just come out of nowhere. You were holding a state of consciousness, or you were affirming the right thing and thus holding the right state of consciousness. You were doing whatever techniques to put yourself in the state of consciousness that was aligning you with your desire. Because I get it, because like I was there and I was like, what does this mean? Like, the sign does not have power. You had the power. The sign was a result of your power. I want this video to just refocus all your energy and your power back to yourself, because I think we see the signs and we start to externalize. We're like, oh my God, the universe is bringing it. No, you're bringing it. No, you're bringing it. It's your energy. It's your reality. It's you that's attracting this. You're doing it. You're doing it. Just keep doing it. So that's all you need to do, because I know we can see it and we can kind of drop everything, or we can get triggered, or we can just, sometimes it's just hard to keep a routine. Like, to shift your mindset, you need to make it a routine. It has to become your new normal. And even if it's conscious or not, like even without a trigger, sometimes you just forget. You start getting lazy and you slip back into your old stuff. I have to make a routine for myself. I like to follow Neville Goddard, who says, you know, anytime you're like drowsy, so just when you're waking up or when you're about to go to sleep, you should envision yourself in the state of the wish fulfilled. And then I also like to, I'm going to start incorporating affirmations in the mirror during the day. And I prefer ones that are around my self-worth. I have been listening to The Value of the Phoenix's affirmations while I'm sleeping. Those have been really helpful. And then just catching myself every time I start telling a negative story or telling an old story or even telling too good of a story. I like to stay just about as neutral as I can and just let manifestation come through as like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if like that happened? Like, I'd really like that. And then moving on with my day, not like, oh, I have to ignore that thing. It should just naturally kind of flow out because you feel that like, oh yeah, that could happen, or that would be cool. And then you move on with your day. So you need to just make sure that your focus is staying on yourself. And this can be difficult, especially then like we start needing the signs instead of just recognizing them as a natural part of the process. We start needing the signs, right? And I'd encourage you to limit that need as much as possible. Remind yourself that you are the operant power in your, I was about to say your relationship, your reality, your relationship with your reality. You are the creator. Everything is creating and rendering and aligning based on your inner state. So remind yourself of how important you are and how, you know, self-concept is key. It is so key. And manifestation, seeing these signs should just be like, huh, oh, cool. Like, I bet it's going to be soon. And to not feel that you need it to be. If you're feeling those feelings of anxiety or worry or lack or like you can't let it go, then you need to do, in my recommendation, do more work on yourself and your self-worth and feeling safe and whatever inner healing you need on core wounding, on issues like that, to bring yourself into a state of more peace and ease and trusting your universe. That is how manifestation becomes effortless, and it's okay if it's not. No judgment. The struggle I've been through in my manifestation journey in the past year, I have experienced a lot of that, and it was in like learning through those misalignments that I am where I am today with everything. It has become a more effortless manifestation practice for myself, and that is because I keep bringing the focus back to myself. And that's uncomfortable. So again, routine is really important. When you're used to giving all your power away, it's not going to feel natural. You're going to fall into old habits, and then your consciousness state is going to slip, and your reality is going to start unwinding itself, going back down the hill, and you're going to freak out, and you might start doubting yourself and create more negativity around your self-image. My dog is in my lap. If you're hearing him scratch his ear. So work on that, work on yourself, bring the focus back to yourself, because it's a process. Don't judge yourself. Give yourself love and grace to be going through the process which you are. Support yourself in the best ways, but again, it's a routine. It's a routine. And it's easy to slip back into the old routine. It helps me to literally write down my goals for what my routine should be throughout my day. Like I already told you guys, like the bedtime stuff, or the morning and night, and then the affirmations. I also like to do kind of like a meditative time for myself where I'm not thinking too much about anything. I like to do yoga. I like to go out for walks in nature, or like even just clean my house. I like to get my body moving, listen to some music. Maybe it's healing, maybe it's helping for the manifestation. To just bring myself into the state of consciousness that I want to be in, not fixating on the how I'm getting that state of consciousness or like what that's going to look like in my reality, but just feeling that state, and staying busy with my body so that my mind can kind of just neutrality. I'm pretty sure Neville Goddard was talking about, it was him that was talking about if you can just come to a space, yes it was, and it was in my latest video about him. If you can just come to a space of neutrality, like you don't even necessarily have to be fully believing in the new thing. You just need to stop with the old story for like 10 seconds, a little bit more than 10 seconds. But if you can just come into a space of neutrality and just letting everything be without telling yourself a positive or negative story, then your reality is going to shift. Okay, I wanted to keep this as a short one. If you guys have more questions, check out my other videos. Leave a question in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. This will be the 4th Birds Before Land video, but I had more to say. Yeah, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.